Kwanza kabisa ni ukweli kwamba Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki imekumbwa na changamoto kadhaa mbalimbali. Moja wazo ni kwamba raia wa hii jumuiya bado hawajajua iwezekanavyo uzuri wa jumuiya na benefits ambazo wanaweza wakatoa kwa jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Na kwa hivyo inatubidi tujaribu kuwafahamisha, kuelimisha na naamini kwamba Secretariat na nyinyi kama waandishi wa habari tukiambatana tunaweza tukafanya kazi nzuri kuelimisha raia wa hii jumuiya inavyowezekana, na tutafanya bidii kama mimi kama katibu mkuu, lakini na wenzangu ambao tunafanya kazi pamoja kutafuta. Nia tunayo, ila tu uwezo unaweza kukosekana, lakini na uwezo nao tutatafuta. Naweza nikasema kwamba tutafanya bidii kutafuta uwezo ili tuweze tuwawezeshe nyinyi kama waandishi wa habari kufanya kazi zenu, kazi ya kuelimisha raia wa jumuiya hii. As far as cases emanating from the Common Market Protocol, the Common Market Protocol is clear that the partner states, let me say two things. The first one is that the partner states have made the commitment that they will do everything possible to make sure that individuals who feel denied of their rights under the common market receive redress. So they have made that commitment. It is very important. The partner states have made the commitment that if any member of any citizen of East Africa feel that they have been denied their rights under the Common Market Protocol, then using the administrative or judicial or other institutions within the partner states, that this individual will get redress. And that is important. It's an important commitment which I call upon you to share with East Africans. Now, there is an ongoing institutional review to see what changes, what institutional changes are required as we deepen integration, as we implement the common market, go into a monetary union, and ultimately a political federation. There will be institutional changes. And this discussion of whether the national jurisdictions should handle common market matters will also be part of the discussion under the institutional arrangement. So there is no gap. I want to say there is no gap. Partner states have agreed, and people of East Africa should take this guarantee and use it. Political unrest, so a deepened integration does not mean that there will not be problems along the way. Oh yes, there are problems, there may well be. But as far as the unrest that we see in the region, the East African region is in a better position to handle political unrest than any other region possible on the continent. Because, why? First of all, peace and security are standing items on the agenda of the summit. Standing items. But second, the partner states consult on measures that are required to remove the causes of unrest. For example, there is an agreement on elections. How are they conducted? How are they observed? On pre-budget consultations, what can the region do? The partner states harmonizing their positions to make sure that there is no economic disruption. That goes on. So there is constant communication, harmonization of positions. Now, and of course, the Secretariat plays a role in helping partner states harmonize these positions. So I can say that this is a process. It will continue. And there is the legal basis for coordination in the treaty, in the different protocols, and we shall continue to make sure that they are enforced. And finally, that the people of East Africa become part of this whole process. So yes, political unrest, I think there may be issues here and there. But if you look at the trajectory of stability, I think this region is involved in that trajectory of stability. The question of unharmonized legislation and national laws, that's true. There is a work of harmonization that needs to be done. There is already a committee on harmonization of laws which is doing their work. We will give them the support they need to complete the work that they are doing. They're involved in it now. And so we shall continue to support them and make sure this is done. It's not only laws, it's also regulations. And the common market regulations also have to be harmonized. So it's an ongoing process. It will not end once. You do it once and you're harmonized. No. It's a process that continues. It is a priority for us. That also goes for what you alluded to, the non-tariff barriers. There are still non-tariff barriers. There's been a significant reduction of non-tariff barriers, but they are still there. Now, there are non-tariff barrier committees, and it is our intention to continue to prioritize the removal of non-tariff barriers to trade within the region, because these are the things that affect the people directly. So the faster we can move to completely eliminate them, the better. Some of the non-tariff barriers are infrastructure related, which is why I said infrastructure is a priority. But others are things that can be removed quite easily, procedures at different levels, so on and so forth. Financing integration is a challenge. Financing the programs and projects of the community still is a challenge, but there is a will That is why, for example, there is now, the community has agreed that we need to put into place a public-private sector partnership, a PPP arrangement for the financing of major infrastructure. We are working with our partners, including the World Bank and others, to set up this framework at the regional level. This will continue. But financing the community itself also is a challenge. And so as part of the institutional review, this is a matter under discussion. How do we finance a deepened integration agenda in the community? So there are two components to that which I think are critical, and you're right. It is a priority that we must come up with and reach agreement. The tripartite arrangement is going on well, the tripartite between COMESA, SADC and East African Community. The second summit of heads of state is scheduled sometime later on this year in June. There is a meeting scheduled for a ministerial, tripartite ministerial, scheduled in Lusaka for the 13th of May, 13th and 14th of May. And part of the agenda, of course, is a review of where we are with, especially the infrastructure that has already been identified under the tripartite arrangement for funding. Now, the funding mechanisms are many. Bonds are one way, PPPs are another way, involvement of funding the community through other innovative mechanisms is another way. And I want to go into details of innovative mechanisms. There are many that one can think of is another way. So I think this is a discussion which will continue. Can you do a monetary union before you have a fully functional customs authority and common market? Oh yes, you can. Yes, you can. Although that they are different, we say customs union, common market, monetary union, they are all interlinked. I'll give you an example. A customs union is about movement of goods, services, and people and so on. But a customs union is about free movement of goods within the entity. So there are areas of a monetary union within a common market. The common market has already talked about liberalizing financial services, which also includes macroeconomic convergence criteria, which are part of a monetary union discussion. So although they are separated in terms of names and so on, and sequencing, they are interlocking. They are parts of a political federation that are already operational. The governance issues, the electoral issues, so those would normally come maybe at a later stage, but they're already operational within the East African community. So yes, the answer to that is yes, you can do that. You don't have to wait until you have a single customs authority before you move into a common market, or to have a fully operational common market before you move into monetary union. No, you can do that simultaneously. And it's not only in East Africa that this is done. The world over, the European Union does the same. The Eurozone are already a monetary union, but they are still not fully common market in some areas. They are still negotiating some schedules of a common market, although they are a monetary union. So there is no there is no contradiction there. And I think you need to explain this to the people of East Africa, because sometimes I hear resistance, people saying, no, first finish the customs union before. No, you can never finish the customs union, or you can never finish a common law. You've got to do all this at the same time. Finally, whether the people of East Africa have been involved in a monetary union negotiations, if you're asking my opinion, not enough. My opinion is that they have not yet been involved enough. We need to involve them more. But the challenge is that some of these negotiations are very technical. So they've been involved, the people of East Africa were involved in the consultations towards a political federation. And all these issues were explained in the partner states. And if you read the report, there is overwhelming support for the idea of a political federation, of a monetary union. So yes, people were involved and they gave their opinion. But now, if you want to involve them, the people of East Africa, in a macroeconomic convergence criteria, then that becomes very complicated. So you can't do that. So yes, we have to find a way of involving them, but you must also understand that they cannot. Some of these are so technical that you won't get everybody involved in the technical discussions.
Thank you so much. If I recall well, Burundi has suggested that French should be one of the official languages of EAC. How do you see it? And this while DR Congo is a potential member state. And finally, are you looking forward to increasing the number of partner states? Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Maybe there. Somebody else. That was the last question. Did you have a question? No.
Yeah, apparently I was about to ask, based on the priorities you mentioned earlier, what do you think is the most biggest challenge you face as a EAC secretary?
Well, let me begin with the easy one, the Burundi one. And no, DRC has not applied to be a member of the East African community, so I can't say anything about it. I can only say that there are procedures in place for handling any potential applicants, be partner states that want to join the East African community. So the procedures are there. I'm not worried. Whenever they apply, then procedures are there to discuss and evaluate and take a decision. But DRC has not made an application to be a member. French, the languages of the community are in the treaty. It's English and Kiswahili as the lingua franca. So there is no debate there now. If that changes to include French or any other languages, then we will be able to handle that also. So I don't think. So as far as the community is clear, the official languages are clear. Now, if you want my opinion, my personal opinion, I can also give it to you. Personal opinion is that I look at language as a means to do business. You asked me. For me, that's the way I look at it. It's not. I look at language as a means to do business. And right now, English serves us very well in this area. But maybe tomorrow it will be Chinese, it may be, I don't know what other language. Huh? Maybe Spanish, it may be. Whatever becomes most beneficial for the community to do business in and advance the community, I think that should be our criteria. Kiswahili is something different because we are unique in having a language that unites all of us as a region. So Kiswahili is good for integration, West African integration. It also happens to be very good for business. So for those reasons, it makes sense. That's my thinking about languages, whether it's French or Chinese or Spanish or whatever it is. My biggest challenge, I haven't seen a big challenge myself. Maybe I'll discover one as I serve. I only see opportunities, meaning things that have not been done yet are opportunities for me to make sure that they are done. So I don't see them as challenges. I see them as opportunities. If I ever discover one, I'll come back to you and say this is, now I have a challenge. I haven't discovered any. I see very many opportunities to get things done because they are not yet done. So that's what we continue to do. Can I conclude? You want to? Yes?
So I don't know how the treaty say about this question I'm going to ask. This is the court of East African community, and the building is on process now. But always the sessions of legislative assembly is working by rotation, the member countries. So after completing the building, will this session will continue to meet by rotation, or that will be then to save money?
You've asked two questions which are a bit different. The treaty is clear on the location of the secretariat. It says it shall be in Arusha, so that's clear. Secretariat to the community. That's the headquarters of the community are in Arusha. It is also clear that the East African Legislative Assembly must hold at least one of its sessions in Arusha. Now, so that is clear in the treaty. But as you have seen, it's not only IALA that moves around the partner states. The summits move also in the partner states. The council has held meetings in the different partner states. IALA has done the same in the partner states. We do this because, like I said, the people of East Africa need to understand that this is their community, and therefore they need to see it at work. And sometimes it's not easy to see it at work in Arusha. That is the only reason. That's why the court will also establish sub-registries in the different partner states. So it's a good thing. Now, of course, if there is no money, then Arusha is here to sit and discuss. That is the reason IALA moves. Thank you very much.